You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off Day with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Tuesday, June 2nd. Thank you guys so much for joining us. However you are taking part in the show today, we greatly appreciate it. The second day of June. June is off to a great start. Plenty to get to, plenty to talk about on today's show. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we appreciate that. Thank you for doing that. Make sure you have subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you have, thank you. If you have not, please do so ASAP and tell a friend or two or 10 about what we're doing each and every day at 10 a.m. A couple people from yesterday's show that watched yesterday's show from different Davenport North, Fulton, those kind of areas, reached out and said, hey, we had no idea that this is what you were doing. So we have subscribed and we'll put it in the rotation and all those kind of things. So we appreciate that. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the show as well. We're also live on X. X has been very, very good to us as well. So you can watch us live on X, be interactive, both on YouTube with the chat. Everydayers there chatting every day. And then, of course, on on X as well. Make sure you reach out and be interactive on X as well. We're also streaming live on the WHO streaming app. We're excited about that. The first hour of the show every single day will be as live can be. So no more mess ups on my part. Hopefully technology agrees with us and is good to us as well. But so far, so good. So we appreciate everybody that watches in Central Iowa on the WHO streaming app. Thank you for the feedback. Everything that you guys have done. We've been doing this for 10 months now. So, good things are going. So why stop a good thing? So we appreciate you guys watching the show as well. And also you can check out the show on all the podcasting platforms as well. Listen to the show every single day, whether you're working in your yard or you're working out or running kids around or whatever you're doing. You can listen to it on all the podcasting platforms, Apple, Spotify, Podbean, iHeart, wherever you get your podcasts. Put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, and you can listen to the show each and every day as well. Yesterday's show, a bunch of fun. If you missed it, go back and check it out. Former Muscatine standout, former Iowa standout, Joe Wieskamp joined us talking about his 5th year of professional basketball. He's got a camp coming up back home later this month. So get involved with that. We'll talk more about that and remind you about that over the next couple weeks as well. And then also a lot of good talk about Iowa basketball and what he saw from his alma mater, his former school, when it comes to Iowa basketball and making it to the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. So a lot of good stuff with Joe Wieskamp on yesterday's show. Davenport North, the soccer team was on. We chatted with them on Sunday evening. They played at noon yesterday, right when we were kind of getting done with the show. They hit the pitch. They fell in their opener to Des Moines Hoover 3-1 in a really good soccer match. So their fantastic season comes to an end, but a history-making season for the Wildcats. A really fun interview with Coach Gamble and company and Javi as well, Javi Alvarado. So go check out that one if you missed it. And then the Fulton baseball team, they won their 5th straight regional championship. They play later in sectionals this week, and they got a young man that loves wearing pink flamingo underwear as his good luck. Chase Dykstra talked about that and a lot of other great stuff. So check out yesterday's show. It was a whole bunch of fun. Today on the show, coming up in just a matter of moments, 10-time state champion in Illinois, Brady Anderson. Brady capped off his high school track career yesterday, or I shouldn't say yesterday, on Saturday with 4 more state championships, 100, 200, 4x1 and 4x2. 10 state championships in his career. He'll go run and do track at Northern Iowa, but we'll catch up with the Morrison standout. Also helping Morrison to a team state championship, their 2nd straight team state championship. And what a lot of people don't realize is there are, I think, 8, 9 kids on the team, something like that. So really impressive. We'll catch up with Brady Anderson in a matter of moments as well. The high school football season is going to be here before you know it. June goes, and then there's like a dead week in Illinois. And then they start up with camps right after the 4th of July. And the first games are August 21st. There's 2 games in the month of August, the 21st and the 28th. Obviously, the expanded playoffs, things moving up, a lot of changes. The boys are back. The boys from View from the West, launching a couple podcasts last week, this week as well. There's a new one up this morning. We're going to chat with Greg and Mitch and get caught up with some high school football news and notes and have some fun with those guys. Coming up in hour number two, actually later in hour number 1 of today's show. And then in hour number 2, we'll talk some sports, do some old sports radio with my good friend John Marks. We'll talk some Texas Tech. We have a young lady getting ready to play in the national championship game in the college softball World Series. We got that craziness in the NFL with Myles Garrett now heading to the Rams in a trade. So the rich get richer. The probably odds-on favorite to win the Super Bowl this year, which I believe is located at SoFi Stadium, so their home stadium. Although if you've watched Rams games in the past, a lot of times it's not even their home stadium because the other team takes over. But yeah, they make a great move. So we'll talk NFL trades and a whole bunch more with John Marks coming up in hour number 2 of the show as well. We mentioned Texas Tech. We'll start our news and notes with them. Texas Tech needing to win 2 yesterday against Alabama. They do just that. Game 1, they won 5-4, got a walk-off in the 7th inning to win it. They took the lead 4-2 with a 2-run homer from Rock Island's Taylor Pannell. Of course, Taylor has been on the show several times, a Rock Island standout. Went to Tennessee, had great years at Tennessee, transferred to Texas Tech. Of course, Tennessee beat Texas Tech over the weekend, but it's Texas Tech coming back, fighting their way back. They'll play for a national championship. Tennessee needed to win one game against Texas yesterday. They lost both. So it'll be a rematch of last year's championship game between Texas Tech and Texas. It'll be Taylor Pannell's first ever national championship game. So Quad Cities has a young lady, a standout, representing them in the national championship on Wednesday night. So we'll talk a little more about that with John Marks later in the show, but congratulations to her and to the Red Raiders. It'll be a rematch of last year's national championship game between Texas and Texas Tech coming up on Wednesday night as well. We'll talk a little more about that later in the show. And then, of course, we'll talk about that coming up tomorrow on the show as well before the game starts tomorrow night, if that makes any sense. I had to do my math in my head to make sure that my days are correct. I'm at that point, and we talked about it yesterday. I don't know what day it is because my kids aren't in school anymore. So obviously I know what days I have to do shows and those kind of things. But I didn't know. I got confused this morning. There's no get up, go to school. They do have camps and a bunch of stuff, and we're hoping they behave themselves and I'm not hearing yelling and screaming. If you hear background yelling and screaming, ignore it. It's fine. Nobody's going to kill themselves or kill each other or anything like that. It's just boys being boys. So hopefully they behave over the next 2.5 months before they go back to school once again. So also one more news note. Iowa State's Milan Momcilovic has found a new home. I don't think surprising to anyone, it was not going to be Iowa State. That's why Iowa State went and filled their class up right away. Literally the first day they could sign people, they signed and they were done. I think there was some pipe dreams that maybe he would come back to Iowa State. They didn't have the money. Plain and simple, they didn't have the money in order to afford Milan Momcilovic. But it's weird because a team that Iowa State beat to go to the Sweet 16, Kentucky, now has arguably their best player from last year, Joshua Jefferson, obviously in that conversation as well, and Taman Lipsey, a really good team from last year. But Jefferson moves on, Lipsey moves on, and now Momcilovic would have been their best returning player. He goes to Kentucky, a team they beat to go to the Sweet 16. It's college basketball. It's not anything against Iowa State, against Momcilovic. It's just the weirdness that is college basketball. Iowa could play Louisville in the NCAA tournament this year, and it'd be Alvaro Figueres playing against Iowa. And of course, we know what he did this year for Iowa. So strange times in college sports, but Kentucky, I believe it came down to Kentucky, Arizona, and Louisville. I think if you're an Iowa State fan, you're happy it's not Arizona, so you don't see him in during the regular season. But one of the best shooters in all of college basketball last year, probably the best shooter in college basketball last year, 48.7% from three last season. He shot a lot of them. Will be playing with Kentucky coming up this season as well. So those are the news and notes. Obviously, things happen throughout the show. We'll keep everybody posted because that's the fun of doing a daily live show every day, is that news breaks. Heck, I got done yesterday, and it was 5 minutes later, and there was the NFL news and the trades, and so it was a busy afternoon, to say the least. So we're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. When we get back, we'll have Morrison state champion, 10-time state champion, Brady Anderson, joining us right here on Off the Air. We'll be right back.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines, and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, Stripes, Summer Tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. We've talked a lot of spring sports the last couple weeks, and rightfully so. It's that fun time of year. Track season is officially over. The boys in Illinois took center stage in Charleston, Illinois this past weekend, and it was another amazing weekend for Morrison, and especially for their track standout, Brady Anderson. Morrison winning a state team title for the second straight season, and a guy that had a lot to do with that is the guy who joins us right now on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Brady Anderson joins us right now on the show. Brady, first and foremost, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you for having me.
It was a good weekend, and you won the 100, the 200. You're part of the 4x1, started part of the 4x2. So 4 state championships on the day for you, plus that team title.
Yep.
Has it sunk in yet? I guess when you hear that day that you had at Charleston on Saturday.
Yes, it definitely has. We had a fun bus ride home, so that really helped me soak everything in and really enjoy it.
I want to start with the team title first, because we'll get to individual stuff in a second, and I know that's super important. But people think of track as like this individual sport, which I understand and I get to an extent, but it is a big team sport as well. What's it mean to win a team state championship for Morrison, for your school, for the second straight season? What was that like to do with your teammates?
I think that was my proudest accomplishment for this year, because I don't know if a lot of people know this, but we don't have a big team. We have like 8 guys out for the track season. So it was, we aren't coming in with a bunch of numbers. We have 4 guys who scored. And there was one of the new guys this year, his first year doing track actually, who was our third leg on our relays. He was a baseball and track athlete. So he kind of was going back and forth this year. And he filled in perfectly, because, our relays, send 2 state records is, incredible. And you need 4 guys to do that. We have, me and Levi are pretty good, I'd say, but you need 4 guys to really be able to complete that relay. And we have 4 guys.
That's awesome. Going into state this past weekend, what was your mindset? I mean, you'd won 3 state championships your sophomore year, 3 your junior year. Obviously the expectations are high. It's also your last time down there. What was it like going down there for the last time? What were the expectations going in?
Oh, the expectations, from ourselves was super high, but even though there's a lot of pressure on ourselves, a lot of pressure from us and a lot of pressure from other people, we didn't really worry about the pressure and like the what ifs and everything. We just had our mind on what we wanted to do, what we needed to accomplish, and we were super confident in ourselves and each other.
When you go, and as the day goes on, kind of take me through your, I don't know, I'm trying to think back, but I think it's 1, 2, 4x1, 4x2. Is that the order it went? But take me through your day. How'd you start it off? And that's a busy day, my friend.
Super busy day. So we start off with the 4x1.
Okay.
And that was the relay that we didn't get the state record in it last year, so we were really upset about that. And this year we almost thought that we needed to get it. And so starting off the day with destroying the 4x1 state record, that's a lot of momentum going into my 100, which was next. And the 100 prelims day was stacked. It was super close. It was anyone's race. But I was super confident, out of the blocks in that race. And then after the 100 comes the 4x2, which we got the state record on prelims day for that. So we weren't as stressed about running the time. We wanted to break it again, but we knew that we just needed to win. And then after that 4x2, we looked at team points, and we kind of had it won already at that point for the team wise. So then to end the day off was just the 200 left, which it was me and Levi who ran it, but he actually hurt his hamstring in the 4x2. So kind of bummed for him. He didn't get to compete in the 200. But that was my last race of the day. And I earlier in the season went 21:14. So I was super close to that 20 point. And I really wanted that 20 point. So I knew that the first 100, the curve was probably the biggest thing that I needed to do in that race was just get out as hard as I could. So that's what I did, and barely went under 21 and got my 20.98. So it was super good way to end off the day.
You look at it, and you said you get ready for the 200. That's not just the last, race of the day of the season. It's also of your career. Were there thoughts of that creeping in your mind as you went through the day, or was it the 200? Was it when you crossed the finish? When did you realize that your high school career was over, and a great way to end it? But did that ever set your mind at all during the day?
No, it did not at all during the day. But however, when we got back in town, we had a long bus ride ahead of us, about 3.5 hours. So when we got back in town, went through our parade and everything, when we finally put the team trophy away, that was when it finally set in.
What were the thoughts? What were the emotions? What was that like for you?
A lot of relief. We did what we wanted to do down there. It was, super proud of how I did and how the team went. And then, that was that was the last time I'm going to run with my team who I ran with. Last time that I probably won't see those coaches, but the last time that I'll be able to get coached by them. We got super close and had a really good bond. So, not the best feelings in the world, but yeah.
A lot to be proud of. Brady Anderson joins us right now on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Brady, you look at it and you run in 4 events that you love. Is there one that you talked about, that 4x1 and the state champion, the state record and those kind of things? Is there a favorite? Is there a race that you enjoy the most? It's probably tough. It's probably like picking your favorite kid. Is there an event you like the most?
Definitely the 200, I'd say. I think that's my best race, which the 100 is probably my second favorite, but I like the 200 just because it's a little bit longer, so you really have a chance where if you stumble in the start or something to really make it up in that last 50 meters of that 200.
Take me through the celebration. You mentioned the drive home. What's it like afterwards? Obviously, state championship team-wise, you have the 4 that you're bringing home. 10 total for a career is a crazy number, Brady. I hope you know that. It's a crazy number to think of. What was the celebration afterwards? The bus ride back? I'm sure there was some pomp and circumstances. You guys came back to Morrison. It's a proud community. What was the day like after the work, if that makes any sense?
A lot of relief, we had a lot of pressure on ourselves going into the weekend, and it's a long 3 days that we're down there. So it's a lot of relief that it's, we did what we were supposed to do down there. And then it's a lot of just hanging out with the team, with the coaches on the way back, just trying to have fun.
I love it. I got to talk to you about what's next, and then I got some dumb questions for you, but you're going to Northern Iowa to run track as a Panther. Talk about that decision just in general. What led you to Northern Iowa, and how excited are you to head to the next level when it comes to your track career?
Well, my oldest brother actually went on a track visit there when he was in high school, and my dad really liked the coaches. And then so he really pushed me to go on a visit, and then I got down there and met with Coach Paulson, and it's really a family down there. Like, I really like what they have going down there. It seems like, it's pretty easy to get involved with them, and it's just a group that I want to hang around with.
Love it. Brady, somebody asked me the other day, like, when do track athletes realize that they're good at track, if that makes any sense? If you're a baseball player and you go play baseball when you're 5 and you start hitting home runs, you're like, hey, I'm pretty good at this. Or basketball, if you're making threes at the age of 5 and when did you realize that you were A, fast, B, good at track, and really fell in love with the sport?
This goes a while back to, just races at the playground when I was younger. Like,
Yes.
A lot of it was from football too. I always thought I was fast in football, so that carried over. And then junior high track, we have to wait till 6th grade to compete in track. So that was when I finally realized that, that I could actually be pretty good at track if I went out.
Love it. What's the goals and aspirations at UNI? What's the thought process? Obviously, you talked about expectations this year. I'm sure you've thought a little bit about expectations for yourself in the future.
Yep, absolutely. I want to keep improving, obviously. That's obviously a goal. Stay healthy is one of the biggest things. But I want to be able to go 10.3 in the 100 and then 20.7 in the 200 next year.
Love it. Love it. Brady, some dumb questions, some fun questions. So I'm a foodie. I like to eat. You can probably not a good thing for me anymore. But I'm sure you're an athlete, you're training, you're not eating the food that probably I'm eating too much of. But if you let yourself go and you have like a cheat meal or a celebration meal or something like that, what's the place you have to go, or what's the food you need to have when you get to let all hang out and have some fun and eat?
I would say Chipotle, but Chipotle is pretty healthy,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to count that. I'm going to get rid of that one and go
Good.
with I think some Taco Bell. Some
Okay.
good Taco Bell.
What's your Taco Bell order?
Cheesy gordita.
Okay. All right. See, so you're in Morrison. I love the town of Morrison. Love it. But it's not like there's a ton of options, in Morrison. So do you hit up Chick-fil-A when you're in the Quad Cities or someplace with a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I do. I
Okay.
do. When we went, we had some Chicago indoor meets.
All right.
And that's where we stopped on the way home.
All right.
So,
That makes me feel better. That makes me feel good. Are you superstitious, Brady? Do you have to do it? We talked with the Fulton baseball team yesterday, and Chase Dykstra let me know that he has pink flamingo underwear that he has to pitch in. I don't know if you have anything like that, but do you have any superstitions when it comes to track and competing?
Not really, I'd say. I'd say the only thing I have is, my block routine when I get in the blocks right before, but that's about it.
All right. Well, that's no fun. Thank you for not bringing up your underwear. It was awkward talking with a high school boy about his underwear yesterday, but hey, that's what happens sometimes here on the show. If you could have dinner with anybody in the world, who would it be and why?
I think a good one would be Wembanyama after the Spurs defeated OKC. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I've been really liking him this week. So
I like it. I like it. Obviously you played football. You wrestled till your junior year. You have track. I'm going to take track away from you. You can't do track in college, but I'm going to let you play anything you want in college, sports wise. What would you choose to play in college if you can pick another sport besides track?
Definitely football. That was actually a decision that was, decided earlier this year after the football season actually was, choosing between the two sports. I love both of them, so it was super hard, but I think I'm better at track, so I had to go with track.
How hard was that? Because obviously we've covered you in football. You've had a fantastic football career. How close was that? How tough was that when it came to making a decision?
I didn't have too many offers for football, so it wasn't too hard of a decision to lean towards track, but definitely my passion was football for a super long time, which actually right after state track last year, I was going to a bunch of camps in the summer and everything, trying to get better and ready for the football season. So it was definitely a difficult decision, but I'm pretty happy with what I decided.
I love it. You don't know exactly when you head up to college. What's this week like? Are you going to give yourself a break? Are you going to hang out? Are you going to be a high school kid? What are some fun things you might have planned this week that you probably couldn't do last year because you mentioned you were getting ready for football or at a camp? Or is there anything fun you get to do these next couple of weeks just to be a kid?
Absolutely. I'm actually going golfing pretty soon here after
Yes.
this is done. So spend a lot of time, sucking at golf, trying to look for my ball, but it's fun to go with my friends.
Be honest, because all you guys, yes, and I'm horrible at it too, but can you hit it pretty far? When you hit it correctly, when you hit a drive correctly, how far can you hit it?
My furthest drive ever is 325. Okay. That was my furthest ever. But
just once is worth it. That makes you go back for more, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yep.
Wait till you get old like me. I'm thrilled at 250 these days. I'm like, all right, I hit about 250. I'm pretty proud of myself. So
If I hit it straight, I absolutely am happy at 250. If it goes straight.
That's key. Key is always hitting it straight. Brady Anderson joining us right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Before I let you go, that community, and we talked with Fulton yesterday, similar with Morrison, everything that school does is supported so well. Can you talk about your community before I let you go? And obviously the support you've had over the last 4 years. It's a pretty special place, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. When I finished with my races, we go back to the indoor area and kind of get in the air conditioning, kind of chill out a little bit. And I have quite a bit of text from, coaches, congratulating me already about my races, telling me to continue forward and execute my next races. So it's a lot of support, and I'm super happy with the community that I have.
Absolutely. Well, we're proud of you here in the Quad Cities. You've been a fantastic athlete to cover for these 4 years. Enjoy the golf, hit it straight, and do big things at Northern Iowa. And we'll catch up with you again soon. Thanks, Brady. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. That is Brady Anderson at Morrison, a fantastic career wrapping up. How about 10 state championships? 10 state championships, including 4 this past year, 2 in relays and 2 individuals in the 100 and 200, and helping Morrison to another team state championship as well. Awesome to catch up with him. We got more to get to. You're watching OTA on a Tuesday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Some news. I was just late back from the break because some news when it comes to college women's basketball. Iowa, which just added a home and home with UConn last week or the week before, has now scheduled Vanderbilt. They'll play in Sioux Falls coming up this year. I think November 15th is what I saw. But another Kyle Huseman breaking the news right now, or talking about it right now on social media. But you look at UConn, you look at Iowa State's going to be on the roster, Vanderbilt's going to be on the roster. Iowa putting together a really good non-conference schedule before they get into the battles of the Big Ten. We talked with Kyle before about it, but the Big Ten's as good as it gets now. Heck, we just had Shauna Green on last week, and she talked about 1 week ago today, I believe, that that Big Ten is a gauntlet with UCLA winning the national championship. USC is always good, Michigan and Ohio State and Iowa and Illinois now, and the lower teams are rising. Wisconsin's getting better. Minnesota had a great season, so it's going to be a gauntlet of a schedule for the Iowa women's basketball team. I love the fact that they're testing themselves early in the season before they get into the conference play. So we'll talk a little more about that at the very end of the show as well. But believe it or not, I know it's June 2nd, but high school football is here before you know it. It's right around the corner. So the band is back together again. I'm like the third wheel that's just trying hey guys, let's be a band. And you guys are like, go away. But View from the West boys, Greg Armstrong and Mitch Stormer joining us right now and Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Hi fellas, how's it been?
Randazzo.
It's good. It's good.
Do you know what's coming up?
Mitch the lead singer of our band?
You know what? Mitch helped me land a huge interview this week. And so I wish I had the shirt. I'm just telling you, if you're thinking about shirts this year, and by the way, Greg, this is a good point to tell you. My dog ate my View from the West hat.
Like,
again!
Fully eat it.
No, she eats the back part. She eats like the adjustable parking. Furious. Oh, man.
I kind of feel like your dog doesn't like
hat.
Yeah, exactly. It's an edible hat. Who knew? But I'm telling you, when you're thinking about the apparel, which you guys are both wearing, maybe I can't tell what hat you got on, Mitch. Are you wearing the View from the West hat?
No, it's a Travis Matthew hat. No.
All right. Anyways, that would have been good product placement, but whatever. So, Mitch, I'm a Mitch guy. I'm a Greg guy. Those shirts would sell like really good.
It's been discussed on a recent pod. So
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyways, honestly, Greg, the high school football season, I know we just got to June, but it's right around the corner, especially in Illinois where everything moves up a week because of the new playoffs and the expanded playoffs and all those kind of things. I guess we'll start with, it's coming quick, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Mitch and I talked about it on our first episode back a week ago, and I think we won't really know what it looks like, or I guess we know what it looks like. We won't know kind of how it plays out or how it, feels in motion when it gets going until we do it once. And I think that we'll learn a lot about how this calendar operates when we get, a month or two down the road, and football is going to be in full swing in almost kind of mid-August, before school even really starts. I mean, before classes are even in session, you better have your roster kind of figured out and practices up and rolling, or you're kind of going to be behind. So it's going to be different.
Yeah, I know, Mitch, there's a dead week, which is now moved up a week. I think it's the 29th of June to probably through the 4th of July, and then they're rocking and rolling. There's so many unknowns, but the big thing is the expanded playoffs. Your thoughts as we kind of get closer to it? Yes, I agree with Greg. We like to complain. We're the old guys that complain. I think there's other media guys that probably agree with us when it comes to that. But we do have to give it. Do we have to give it a chance, I guess? Is that a question? We have to, right?
I think so. Who was it? Was it Steve Susi who said, he's willing to be proved wrong in this scenario? And anytime that there's a massive change to the landscape of football, like I think we're going to be dealing with this upcoming season, there's always going to be hesitation. And certainly we've been critical of this. I'll remain that way. I don't personally like it. I can see why it moved forward. And I'm with Steve. I could be proved wrong on this. And it's one thing for us to talk about how this calendar changes, but boy, is it a reality? I mean, right now on June 1st or June 2nd, whatever day it is, that football season is essentially starting very, very soon. And so I'm interested to see how these teams come out, get prepared. I mean, we're talking about other summer sports. We're talking about vacations. All of that is affected. It's not just moving the season up. It's moving your whole summer into a mess. So, yeah, I'm willing to be proved wrong. I'll be open to that. But, yeah, I think we're going to see a season quite unlike we've had in quite a while.
I know it's not a short answer question, but I'm going to make you answer it short. Both of you guys. Mitch, if I said to you, I don't like this about the new landscape of football in Illinois. I know you can give an essay answer, but in short, what do you dislike the most about it?
Trying to keep it short.
Good luck,
for lack of me being for lack of me being smart enough to shorten my answer, I'll just say I'm very pro to the 5 wins. I've always liked that, the drive for 5. That's eliminated, and so however you want to shorten that, that's my answer. Is I've always just been a proponent of that system, and now that's non-existent.
Greg, I don't like the new system because blank.
I don't like the new system because the summer feels so condensed or feels rushed. And I think that we had a 1 year where we did a scrimmage in week 0, which allowed teams to kind of try out some things and see what works and see how their team looks in a simulation type of game setting. And we've gone immediately and eliminated that. And I think that Dazzo, as we've talked a lot about, I think that youth sports becomes so much about we need more games and we need more opportunities for, competition, that we forget that what really enhances a young athlete is practice and is training. And we've kind of just tossed that aside in this model, what it feels like.
Yeah. No, and being a youth baseball parent, they start playing and they're like, hey, let's add this tournament. Let's add that. Hey, the kid's got to practice. Like, the best things they're going to do is get practicing, get better. That includes Mitch, back to you though, because we kind of joked, but week 1 is the 21st of August. Week 2 is the 28th of August. Do you have the tickets punched? Whatever for logo for social media, because realistically, I guess some teams will clinch the playoffs if they win their first 2 games on August 28th. That's true, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the reality, at least that they've qualified for it, in qualifying and clinch is closer than it's ever been. But that's the reality. We can joke about it, but that's the reality, that if I wanted to make those graphics this year, I could do it right now and make them for every single team, and I would use more than I did. So, that's going to be incredibly weird to talk about. And maybe it's one of those things that after a season we get used to it. But keep in mind that the way that the bylaws work and the way that these proposals could work, people could hate this and propose to revert to what we used to do. So again, the next 6 months, it's just going to be, again, like I said, unlike a season I think that we've seen in a while.
Is that true though? And either one of you guys, is that true that I don't know if you can put the toothpaste back in the bottle. I don't know if you can expand it to letting all these teams get into the postseason. I'm sure you can. It's not like the NIL in college sports, where once you give money and let the genie out of the bottle, you can't get it back in. But I do think it's more difficult to go backwards than it is to go forward.
Right. I think the unfortunate part about that, and a big subject of this conversation, has revolved around player safety. It would have to take something not good in that respect for it to go back, I think. But it's not impossible either.
Absolutely. Great.
I think there will be coaches, I think, already that are trying to draft proposals to go back to something closer to what we had before this passed. I don't know if it'll work, but I think coaches will try. I think that if I'm looking at it, both sides of the coin, you can tell that maybe all of us here don't really love the change. It does create opportunities for teams that were playing meaningless football, essentially meaningless football, in weeks 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that range. Those games mean a little more because they're trying to jockey for a better position they're trying to play out of what I would call the play-in game, where those 2 3-win teams are playing the 4-win teams or 4 5-win teams. So there is opportunity there. There's chances for teams who haven't been competitive to get into an extra game. I think we got to let it play out and see what it looks like to know whether we like it or not. But I hate that. Yeah, I'm going to miss the old model, I think, for sure.
And that part, again, it makes me sound like a Scrooge, but like I would love for the playoff atmosphere to be brought to more communities and towns that maybe don't get to experience it as much. That is a positive of this whole thing, right? Who am I to try and take that away? I just like how it was that was more earned than it is now. But again, if we're bringing playoff football to more communities, great, outstanding. That is again the positive side of this.
And maybe we'll wrap with this part of it. When it comes to, I've had the coaches that like it say to me like, well, it prevents district football. I don't love the fact that you like it because it's the lesser of two evils, if that makes sense. If you guys have heard that, you guys have heard the coaches say like, hey, anything but district. Like I can't do the district stuff. So this keeps conferences, this keeps people happy. I don't love the lesser of two evils things. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that depends on perspective, and I can guess in my mind who doesn't like districts more than others. Based on our area and what I know about the coaches in our area, and I don't blame them. Right? I can see.
I get it.
Some coaches in our area. I get it. I get why they want to avoid districts at all costs. For others, I can see where this change doesn't really solve the problem. And I think that's kind of the bigger majority, is that they were trying to solve a problem. And I think that you made change, but maybe didn't address the actual problem, or you addressed one problem and created more problems.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to maybe see play out.
All right, we're being cranky. Mitch, last word on this part of the subject. Bring some sunshine to this before we move on to the view from the West that's back and rolling once again.
Oh, I'll just echo what I just said. We'll have more playoff teams. And as much as we've always talked about on any of our shows how much we love playoff football, we get to talk about more teams doing it. And we get this new kind of extra round that now becomes that quasi excitement we had in week 9 where you would have 2 4-4 teams going up against each other. So no, I think we'll be less grouchy as this goes forward, but we're in that period now where we don't know what to expect. On the surface, it may work, it may not. So again, I will stand by and be proved wrong on this for sure.
I will say the biggest, disappointing part of all of this, and Mitch and I talked about it, is one of my favorite episodes. Mitch would agree. I think one of our favorite episodes every year was what we called the crystal ball episode, where we had 3-4 weeks left in the regular season, and you go team by team, and you say, all right, they're at 4 wins right now. Can they get 5? Can they get 6? Or there's a 3-win team. Can they get 2 more to get to 5? Like, that was fun in the middle of the season, and that's entirely gone. So Mitch and I got to get creative now on, how to rework that and see. Certainly a crystal ball in week 2 is not going to be
could be our first episode.
Maybe, yeah. Right? Maybe just, week 6 or 7, have Brian Stocking on and just to let him roll. That might be the issue.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I think Mitch, what we need to figure out is what do we call a team that gets in to the playoffs and they're past the point of playing the round 1. They're past the play-in game, right? That's where I think you get a little accolades where you're actually in the field. You get a bye week. I think now that's a whole nother conversation, whether teams want a bye week or not when they get that late in the season. But that's where I think you could draw a distinction. Maybe we got to figure that part out.
I think I've had teams, because I'm an Alleman guy, complain to me because they got a bye week. Excuse me, that they probably didn't want via the Pioneers late in the season and didn't help them
I was gonna say,
at all. So I don't think a lot of coaches love a bye week, but hey, I'm sure there's certain injuries, those kind of things that might help and be beneficial. Probably depends on what happens. Speaking of playoff football, has nothing to do with what I was going to bring up, but I was in Princeton this weekend for a baseball game, and we're in Princeton. I took my 11-year-old, Chase, with me, and we're in town. I'm like, hey, when we're done, we're going to hit up Myrtle's Pies. It's really good. And he's like, Dad, there's a Jimmy John's. I'm like, yep, we're going to get a pie, and we're going to hit up Jimmy John's. He's like, Dad, how do you know about all these things? I'm like, I love playoff football in the fall in Princeton. I'm like, it was my thing for so many years that I would just go. And he's like, why'd you come here all the time? And I'm like, well, I don't know. And he goes, you'll love this. Chase goes, probably because it was the closest game and you're lazy. I said, Chase, he's right. It's probably why it was, but I probably took but anyways, Morrison, Myrtle Pies, shout out to Myrtle's Pies. Really, really good. View from the West is back, Greg. An episode last week, one up this morning. We'll talk about this morning's first because Anthony Rome is the new guy in the Western Big Six, but he's far from the new guy in the Western Big Six, if that makes any sense. Your conversation with Anthony Rome that people can go watch right now and listen to right now, thoughts of the new Rock Island head football coach.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you look at hires in the Western Big Six, and you look at kind of Anthony Rome and his resume, I think from the outset, like it's a good resume coming into the Western Big Six, right? You played and had success under Larry Johnson Jr. at Geneseo. Now, before they were in the Western Big Six, but in either case, like you saw kind of a great football program firsthand, and he was a part of it. He went to their state championship game when he was in high school. So you have that resume, and then you have coaching under Mike Morrissey, and all he's established at Moline, following up with Coach Welch and what they've built at United Township. And Coach Rome was an integral part of that as well. So I think that he's seen a lot of coaching, and he's been around a lot of Western Big Six football. So I like that from the outset, and it was good. I mean, he was a good interview, and I feel like he has the right mindset going into, he doesn't want to call it a rebuild, but when we're looking at it, like it is, you got to kind of rebuild a little bit of, brand equity in this Rock Island program. So I think he's got a good mindset going in.
Mitch, I think we ruffled some feathers probably in the spring when the job was open, maybe winter, whatever it was. And Greg might've been along with it is it a,
no, I don't ruffle feathers. It was
no,
definitely
never, not at all.
Is
it?
I know where you're going with. I know where you're going with this.
Is it an elite, like, is it still a great job and all that? Like, where would you put it and all those kind of things? Now actually having the hire and having Coach Rome there and now having a conversation with him, your thoughts and what did you get out of the conversation? Like, what stood out to you the most when you talked with Coach Rome recently?
Right. He sounded like a guy who's prepared for this challenge. They certainly went through a lot of the rebuild, or as he called it, rebirth, those kind of foundation building processes at UT. Fresh off of that, right? They just got to the playoff for the first time in 23 years or whatever that was. So, no, I know where you're going with that earlier statement. I do hold the Rock Island job very highly on my list of desirable jobs, given the area that it's in, given the history that's there, one of the all-time winningest programs, right? It's higher up there. So no, I think this is a great hire. He spoke about how quickly he began speaking to players and members of the staff and trying to build that identity that he wants to have there at Rocky right away. So I think it's a great hire for Rock Island. I think it's the step in the right direction from where we think that they can go, where we've seen them as we've covered high school football for however many years now. We've seen them get to heights like that before, and they're not going through anything that other programs that we've covered aren't or haven't gone through. So, no, came away very impressed and excited to see how Coach Rome gets things going there.
And you look at it too. You go to social media. Rock Island football's already, I know it's a little thing, but it's already, they're announcing their schedule. There's a little more, when it comes to look and logos and social media presence and hyping those kind of things. I know it seems silly, maybe to some, but those are similar things that they've done at Moline. They've done it UT. I mean, those are things that get kids
matters.
Fired up, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that stuff absolutely matters. We're in a digital world now, right? So to have an online presence or to be able to showcase what you're doing day in and day out or weekend or whatever it is, just to have that presence, yeah, it's a big deal. It seems very, very small, but if it's something that Rocky hasn't been doing, again, here's one very good example of things they're already starting to do under Coach Rome. So yeah, it does sound silly, but it works.
This was the second episode back. The first one was last week. 2 more new head coaches. I got to talk to both of them. A new one at Orion, new one at Sherrard. Storied programs, especially in Orion. Sherrard, maybe in the last couple decades, unfortunately, haven't done a ton of great things, but 2 opportunities there. What did you learn, Greg, from last week's episode? People should go listen to it right now. Don't give everything away, but what were the highlights of that episode as well?
Yeah, so talking to 2 head coaches, in Matt McLean and Zach Wagle coming in, I think that they followed similar paths, right? Actually, it's funny is they're both kind of small school guys from, where they went to high school, and then both going to bigger schools on the Iowa side, with McLean being at Davenport North and Wagle being at Davenport Central. And now they've both moved on to smaller schools, just outside the Metro Quad Cities. So interesting, they've kind of followed a similar path at the exact same time. And I think they're both trying to, bring programs back up to a level that, those parents, the communities expect. And, I think that they seem like, from when I talk to them, different head coaches, right? And I don't know exactly how to quantify that, but I think that, in talking to McLean, he was very much enthused about kind of what he's seen in his players already, in the fact that, they're picking up things quickly and they're kind of understanding kind of what he wants to do, where he wants to go with the program right away. And I think when you look at Sherrard and Zach Wagle, I think he really impresses me, because I think you can tell that he is he self-described film junkie, really studies the X's and O's of football. And he's got a fairly young group, which may not be good in this first year, but I think if you can build a foundation in this first year, then maybe down the road that pays dividends, right? Where if these guys can really follow suit and they really understand and really can deep dive what he wants to execute, who knows, how good they could be. So I think it's interesting there on the Sherrard side that they have some talent that's in the freshman level and maybe at the junior level, where they're going to be there a few years, And on the Orion side of things, I think you're trying to obviously replace Cale Filler, right? I don't think there's a quarterback that replaces Cale Filler immediately. I don't know their roster 100%, but Cale Filler was a pretty special quarterback we saw over 4 years at the varsity level. But I think McLean is willing to take the pieces he has, and maybe those kids who were working under a Chip Filler playbook, which was going to spread it out a little more than some small schools do. I think those athletes at Orion got a lot of experience kind of learning some, diverse offense compared to what a lot of small schools do. So I'm curious to see if that pays dividends. And Matt McLean has seemed pretty impressed with it so far.
Mitch, it was funny because it's a great episode of 2 new coaches, 2 rival schools as well. When it comes to Orion and Sherrard, I think it's 7 miles in between them. Your thoughts that stood out to you in talking to those 2 new head coaches?
Trying not to echo what Greg said, because he really described it pretty well. But 2 programs that are trying to find their identity now. Right. Like Greg just mentioned, Orion's going to look a lot different, whether there was a new coach there or not. Personnel turnover, maybe a whole different offensive scheme. So maybe the timing is really good at Orion to bring in a new coach with some fresh ideas, because your roster is going to look completely different. And we've seen we've seen shades of success for both programs throughout the years, right? But they just haven't been able to get over the various hurdles that both divisions of the track have brought. Certainly when you're talking about the Princetons or the Rockridge or the Newmans, whatever it is, can one of those programs be the next Riverdale who takes that next step after so many years of maybe not being up there? So I'm excited to see what they can do. Again, more just bringing a new identity to both of those programs.
Jeremy Adolphson, if you're listening, he did not mention Monmouth Roseville when he said coming over. I don't want to start anything. I don't, but I do have a shirt that he sent me, and I love the shirt. I wear it all the time. So I just pointing it out. Greg, did you notice that?
So getting back to Zach Waggle, and I mentioned Cale Filler, leaving Orion or, graduating from Orion. Also, Zach Waggle described watching a lot of film in Sherrard and seeing a whole lot of Carter Brown, which he's going to have to try to replace that kind of athleticism. So I guess both schools are losing a pretty dynamic athlete. I wouldn't want to, favor one over the other because you got to replace them one way or the other on both sides.
Both are going to cool programs. I know that Carter Brown's going up to Platteville, and of course, Monmouth is where Cale Filler is heading as well. Guys, I want to bring up the View from the West Player of the Year last year, Caden Constantine. And he did it all on the football field, going to play at Illinois. I don't know if there was an interview with a high school kid I've enjoyed more than when Caden Constantine committed to Illinois and I had him on the show. Awesome kid. He's a fantastic baseball player. Have you guys seen this? He's like set the IHSA record for runs scored or something like that.
Yes, he did. Yeah. So just the resume continues to build for Caden Considine. Very, very impressive. No doubt about it.
100%. Mitch, that's a pretty good resume for that young man.
Yeah. It'd be fun to stack up that entire family and just to see like, I wonder if that's a conversation piece. It's probably not, but it would be. I'd be curious to see if you stacked up everybody in that family, all the siblings, all of their accomplishments, all their records. Like that conversation would probably take days to get through. So, no, just another phenomenal performance from Considine after so many during the football season. So yeah, what a spectacular athlete.
Boys, before we let you go, Greg, I know the View from the West, of course, today's episode up already this morning with Anthony Rome. I know teams are getting ready, coaches are getting ready. View from the West is getting ready as well. What does it look like? How have you mapped it out? And obviously the season starts sooner for coaches and players, starts sooner for us as well, doesn't it?
I got it mapped out every week up until kickoff. So yeah, we definitely have it mapped out. I actually just recorded an interview yesterday with Coach Elder, Pat Elder from Bureau Valley, and his dad, John Elder, the legendary Hall of Fame head coach from Alexis High School, and talked to both of them about their coaching careers and kind of where their careers kind of crossed over a little bit, and they coached together. Obviously, John coached his son, Pat Elder, in high school at Alexis, talked about some of those stories. So it's a really cool interview. And I mean, John and Pat Elder, two of the greatest people you could meet, two of the nicest guys, really good stories, but also just a really great family. And the way they coach, the way they teach young athletes and students, I've been really impressed. And it was really cool to sit down and talk to both of them. So that episode will be coming out on June 9th, so a week from today. So that's what's up next. You talked about Caden Considine. We're in the works with getting Sean and Caden on a podcast together to kind of talk about their journey through Byron and, maybe a little bit about Sean's career and about Caden's career and kind of where he's going next. So I'm really excited about that one as well.
Actually, tomorrow and off the air, we're going to have Sean and Caden. No, I'm kidding. I'm not stealing it. It's a great idea. It's a fantastic idea. I will not steal Greg's really good idea. All right, I'm good.
Thank you.
I will tell you this, too. I was in Princeton this weekend, and they played Monmouth Roseville.
And you got pie.
Yes. It shows, too, unfortunately. Some Monmouth Roseville people came up to me, and they were talking about View from the West. and they said they love it.
Yeah.
This is what they do on Friday nights now. Mitch, kind of talk about the instant reacts that's moved to right after. No more instant reacts. With Stockpile yelling at us and recording it, he's still there yelling at us, just in a different form. It really took off last year as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. And, we're fortunate enough now in this digital age to kind of see the views, right? We're able to see kind of our engagement, and really we can credit all of last year's kind of growth to doing that live. We really had success right off the jump with that. So, some kinks here and there to figure out. And of course, we're always battling coaches having maybe some internet problems. Either they're on the bus or they're in a locker room, whatever it may be. But
they're at a farm. You know what I mean? It's some of the rural guys are,
right,
I'm just outside the barn.
At a gas station.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But that's what makes it great, right?
Yep.
That's what makes it so enjoyable to do this, and to have their willingness to be in whatever situation that they're in, tired, hungry, whatever it is, to jump on our show. We really saw some great success with that this year. So looking forward to continuing to do that. We'll try and raise the bar again this year, as we try to do every season. But we set a high one last year, and that was fun for everyone to be along for the ride for that.
Greg, I have 20 seconds left for you. White Sox baseball, go.
Hey, we're not terrible anymore.
No, you're
right?
good. Forget not terrible.
This is exciting.
I think you're good.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I've been very happy with the way the season has played out so far. And I think early I was thinking, like, again, we're not terrible. Let's just show some fun. Let's have some fun out there. But man, they keep winning games. They keep winning series. And they're right in the mix. So the Murakami injury.
20 seconds is good. No, go ahead. Keep going.
Makes, our biggest bat in the number 2 hole, was leading the league in home runs for a while. He's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So Murakami being out, that hurts a little bit, but it all seems like this is all dessert, right, from here on out. Like, you've already feel like you've surpassed kind of expectation. So get to yourself a point where you finish the year in the playoff mix. In the playoffs would be phenomenal. I'm excited. All right, that was 20 seconds.
No,
right?
you enjoy it more when it's that bad. Last one for Mitch. Brady Anderson, Mitch Stormer. I mean, is there a pecking order when it comes to Morrison's greatest athletes?
If anyone questions that, please seek help. I mean, there's
Mitch.
No comparison.
It's Mitch, right? You're saying it's you, right?
No, it's so cannot be further from the truth.
Dude,
no,
10 state track titles. 10.
Yeah.
In his career. It's wild.
I think 13 medals altogether, I think is what I had heard, I guess. But no, I've known the family for a long time. I told you Dazzo, his dad, Nate Anderson, a fellow Ambrosian. So we know we're in good company already, right?
Yeah.
Nate was a assistant coach when I was in high school. That family is just a tremendous family. So to see all the success that Brady's had, and the whole family, right? Not just going to limit it just to Brady, but to see them, continue to put Morrison in a good light on the track, back-to-back state championships. My senior year, Morrison placed 3rd in track, and that was a big deal then. But to see what they're doing now, and like you just said, 10 state titles is just insane. So, phenomenal family, phenomenal kid, and looking forward to seeing what he can do in the future.
So you're giving the nod to Brady. Is that what you're saying?
What's bigger than a nod?
That's true.
A definitive
huge shake.
shake.
Yeah. A bobblehead. A Monninghoff, if you will.
Yeah, it's a bobblehead that never stops. Yeah.
Greg got it. Okay, good. As long as good. All right, fellas. I can't wait till the fall. I missed this.
So Morrison has back-to-back track state championships. My alma mater, the Marquette Crusaders, had won back-to-back Class 1A state baseball championships. And did you see they had a bit of a viral moment over the weekend?
No.
They got bumped up to Class 2A in baseball. They went on the road in the regional championship to Kankakee Bishop McNamara and beat Kankakee Bishop Mac on a walk-off home run, a 2-run homer with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. The play is crazy. Yeah, the atmosphere looks crazy. So it was fun. I was following along with that. So go Crew.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Alleman soccer team, I feel like I have to say something about Alleman. You guys are great. Yes,
right.
They're killing it and everything else as well. Pat Rangle's at the helm now. It's good times for everybody. So, all right, fellas, View from the West. It's rocking and rolling already. Friday nights are coming quick. Get your rest, especially you, East Coast boy. Not East Coast boy, but Eastern time boy. It's even later for you.
Ohio, on the Eastern Shoreboard. Right.
All right. It was so close to getting through this without Mitch making fun of me, but I'll still wear the shirt. I'm a Mitch guy. See you, boys.
All right.
All right. That is Greg and Mitch from or Mitch and Greg. Greg and Mitch. I don't know which one it is, but View from the West is up and rolling right now. Go check out their newest episode with Anthony Rome right now. If you are subscribing to this show on YouTube, you should be subscribing to that show on YouTube as well. So do that ASAP as well. We got more to get to. You watching OTA on a Tuesday. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm the Crawford guy.
Ooh, do you guys always speak at the same time?
Sorry, guys. I'll go first. You know, if you need help with your heating or air conditioning,
or electrical,
or plumbing, Crawford Company can solve your problem.
But what about your problem?
What problem?
Do you not hear yourselves? Take it from me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Crawford is the comfort company.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
For over 65 years, Lindquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities, and they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Lindquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. It's been a busy time in the world of sports, and somebody we haven't caught up with in a while is my good friend John Marks. And people love that. People hate that. They miss Johnny. They love Johnny. They hate Johnny. You know that. It's a roller coaster ride. How are you, my friend?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. I get nailed. Hey, love him, hate him. And then no one ever talks about what a pain you are.
No, they do. Trust me. Just not to me. They talk to you about me being
absolutely.
A pain, vice versa.
And then everybody talks to you about me.
No, absolutely. First and foremost, how's everything? It's been a minute.
Life is good. Busy. American Legion baseball starts this evening, and I'm going to dip my toe into. I'm not going to go on the road with them, but I'm going to get to. I'll do the home stuff and local games.
You've coached baseball? I didn't know. Good luck with that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Hey, I got a 9-year-old who's still hitting the baseball good now because he had 45 minutes with Uncle Johnny, and he thinks he's the next best thing, which it worked. So I shouldn't complain. I want a bunch of stuff I want to bug you about today.
Okay.
Taylor Pannell, Texas Tech, getting ready to play for a college softball World Series.
Yep.
We mentioned it a little bit yesterday. Obviously playing great softball and doing good things on the field, and it's a little controversy off the field, but that's what happens when you leave one SEC powerhouse and go to another one. It tends to, or go to Texas Tech, it tends to follow and all that, those kind of things. Just in general, your thoughts, because she's still playing. She's playing despite the noise, if that makes any sense.
She's good.
She's still playing and making great softball plays. And here we have a young lady from the Quad Cities, from Rock Island High School, going to be on national TV on Wednesday night playing for a college softball World Series. It's really cool.
Okay, we made a big deal about Chuck Jagasol playing in the national championship game. So why not play a big deal about Taylor, who's really, really gifted. I love the fact that the way she swings it. She's a tremendous player. Welcome to college women's softball. And with the transfer portal, now there's everybody's. It's Chirp City, and I like that. We got Jason Williams having a great time going off on Florida when his daughter left. So there's always something to be added to it. I think that's the cool part. But she can to be that gifted. She can knock out all the peripheral noise, Matt, and make sure that. She just does her job, and phenomenal. But I love all the drama that comes with the College World Series. The best thing about it is that they can no longer put their hand up for time. They got pitch clock, and you all the stupid stuff that ASA allowed you to do all those years. You got to play softball. And whatever that guy you spent $65 an hour for hitting lessons who told you that you have to hold up your hand, and which there is no such thing in the game, that's been eliminated, and I love watching the game.
Absolutely. You look at it too, Johnny, and obviously last night in a must-win game, the first game, they had to beat Alabama twice. Tied at 2 late in the game. Taylor hits the 2-run homer to take the lead, obviously. There's more talk on social media, I think, this morning about, like, the girl who could have jumped a little bit to maybe rob the home run. But, like, stop. It's a home run's a home run. She hit the ball over the fence. It's a 2-run bomb. So she gives them – but the little plays, I think, are almost as important as that. You go back earlier in that game, runner on first – 2 outs in the inning, slow roller to third. She gloves it. She's not going to make the play at first, so she quickly turns, throws behind the runner at second, gets him in a pickle. They get out of the inning. I think it's those kind of things. She's just, and we know it because we're here in the Quad Cities and we've kind of watched her grow up. She's been around the game so much that those smart plays, I think coaches love more and makes her more valuable than almost the 2-run homer to take the lead.
Maddie, have you ever watched, and this is a really bad question, you watch a WNBA game or watch a college women's basketball game?
Yeah.
It's 10 times more fundamental than the men's game. And it's the same thing on the softball side. As compared to, baseball is pretty close on the fundamental side, but college women's softball at an elite level is just fundamentally sound. That's an instinct play, but they practice that. Or there's been something going on in her career where she knew if that it's like a ground ball with a runner at second who makes that wide turn at third when they're coming this way. You fake that throw to first and you backpick them at third, man. That's just instinct and great athleticism. And other than Kim Wendland, give me Carrie Donis from Moline was a big time college softball player, but who's from Kim Wendland and now Taylor Pannell from Rock Island, both of them, one at Georgia and now one that's kind of bounced back and forth using the portal, and now at Texas Tech. That's cool for our area.
Yeah.
And again, we made a big deal when Chuck was playing in the national championship football game, and we should make a big deal with Taylor being a part of the Texas Tech program, and it's cool. I played at Texas Tech. The whole facilities are down there. It's a phenomenal place to play, and Lubbock, everybody loves baseball, softball, basketball now, and of course football.
Johnny, and I love these guys, but if a basketball player from our area wins an NCAA tournament game, it was a big deal. When Brock won an NCAA tournament game, Joe Wieskamp, great years at Iowa. I mean, Ethan Happ was winning, and he went to a Final Four, I think, his redshirt year.
Yep.
But he played in Sweet 16s and chasing in Sweet 16s. This is the same thing. You almost took the question away from me. Will Taylor Pannell go down as top best softball player from the Quad City area? You kind of just mentioned it a little bit.
Easily with Kim Wendland and Carrie. I think those are the three, and I'm sure Krista Fossbinder and people like that. I'm sure I'm missing someone, regardless of the level, and I apologize for that. You go back to Taylor Pannell being great. the Stykes girl from Rock Island who pitched at Purdue, phenomenal. Her mom was one of the best pitchers I've ever watched, and Debbie, and one of the nicest people that you ever run across. So, yes, you have to put her right there at the top, maybe at the top. I'm not going to get in an argument between the Pannell and Windland family, but Kim Windland was awfully good when she played at Georgia, and now Taylor Pannell, with her success, gifted from the beginning. She was recruited, I think, by Auburn and as an 8th or 9th grader. So, yes, you got to put her in that top 5 category, top 3 category, and maybe I don't know if I missed anybody from the Iowa side, but put her right in that upper echelon.
Yeah, it's funny because you mentioned her as being recruited as in 8th grade. I remember doing a feature story on her as a freshman, and Johnny, and I've told her this. The story turned out great, but editing is a beautiful thing, and she was very short answered. And I wanted to say, Coach Allison probably carried that story when it came to sound bites, and then she's been on the show twice, and she's watching her grow up is awesome. I went to grade school with her mom, played Little League baseball with her dad. So it's cool to see. Everybody should be watching on Wednesday night. There's a young person from the Quad Cities that's a big cog in the Texas Tech machine. Johnny, their lineup is loaded. I mean, and that's obviously, I know transfer portal, NIL, all those kind of things, but I mean, they're loaded from top to bottom.
No one cares about transfer portal and NIL when you're playing for a championship.
Yep.
Yes, it'll be referenced. It's just kids playing softball.
Yep.
And at an elite, and I can't emphasize that enough, Maddie, elite level. They're phenomenal to watch. I love the game, and you talk about hooting and hollering after making a play, and I want to go back to the Alabama. Somebody taking the Alabama outfielder to task for not catching a home run ball. Come on.
Yeah.
You're taking a drop step, run into a fence.
Yeah.
Don't be idiots.
It's a tough play. I know. And that's all morning I've seen. Like, if she jumps a little bit, she catches it. It's not like it's okay. I mean, there's a wall there. I mean, yes, if you slow things down and look at it, it looks pretty simple, but in full speed, it's more difficult of a play than you would think.
So, Maddie, if you and I jumped a little bit, we could dunk.
No, yeah.
So,
I hate down in the basement. I'm still dunking on my kids every time I can.
That's every opportunity you got.
Yes, exactly. John Marks joins us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. Johnny, you look at some NFL stuff, and it's supposed to be, again, this sport dominates everything. Here we are, June 1st, and you get 2 huge trades. The A.J. Brown trade to the Patriots, people knew that was coming. It wasn't as big of a deal. But to have a guy like Myles Garrett be moving and going to a team that most already had and when I say most, I mean the guys in Vegas that set odds. They were already the Super Bowl champion favorites, and now they pick up a guy like Myles Garrett. I guess your thoughts when you hear of that trade yesterday.
Well, remember that the Los Angeles the Rams have taken a unique perspective when it comes, because they don't care about draft picks at the moment. Because that's what all they didn't have. They didn't have anything that made a difference.
More than a moment. They've been F them picks since 2016 probably.
But don't care. They got a quarterback.
Yeah.
The Alabama quarterback, Matthew Stafford. They're putting all their eggs in one basket because they signed it another $55 million. The Super Bowl's at SoFi. It would be the perfect storm. That's what they were missing. Was one more piece to the edge. And, of course, again, from being a great edge rusher, he can also play the wide 9 and play that 7 technique as well as anybody in football, and stop the run. So that's what makes him elite. So you ought to tell your boy in Detroit how that works. That you just, or one of the boasts, that you just don't have to rush the passer to be elite. Great trade. The Rams gave up something.
Yes.
And a future, and that defensive end who still is under that rookie contract, which I think is a bonus for the Browns. But this just, if you're buying for now and you're buying for now in one more year, I think the Rams have bought themselves an opportunity to play at the next level, and that's a Super Bowl. And you and I, before we went on, Maddie, we're talking about Bears fans and Lions fans being upset and boom, boom, boom. They had no capital to make a deal like that. Neither team did.
Yeah, it's one of those things, Johnny, where you can be upset as a Lions fan, and there's so many dumb ones on social media right now. Bears fans, there's even more dumb Bears fans. Trust me, it's like they multiply every year. But, no, you look at it, and both of them are like, why don't we care? Like, why don't we go do that? Like, I've seen so many people. This is Brad Holmes, who took the Lions from 3 wins and awful to one of the, I would argue, and again, this is me, the Rams are the most talented roster in the NFC. They just are, probably in football. Yes. I think the Lions roster is the second most talented in the NFC. And the Phillies in that conversation, Seattle's in that conversation. Bears are getting there. I don't think they're there yet, but just talent-wise, when it comes to Pro Bowlers, All Pros, all those kind of things, they're getting right there. But you have to have, they wanted a but a really good young player like Jared Verse,
yes,
who's on a rookie contract for the next 3 years, Johnny. They control him for 3 years. He's already made 2 Pro Bowls. He's as young as can be. And so they wanted that, and then the picks. Go to the Lions roster. There's no controllable. I mean, even Jack Campbell just got paid. Jameson Williams just got paid. Like, everybody's getting paid on their roster. Or if they're one of the ones that that hasn't extended yet, Sam Laporte is coming off a back injury. Brian Branch is coming off an Achilles. So they don't have the type of collateral to send. Same thing with the Bears. Like, who are the Bears going to send to the Rams that they would want player-wise? They don't want Montez Sweat. He's an older, not nearly as good Myles Garrett. And am I wrong to think this too? Is Myles Garrett the best player in football? Like, forget quarterback. Is 23 sacks, Johnny. 23.
Game changer, because as I stated before, Matty, he can go out and play that wide 9, and he can step down and play 7 and a 5, and move his body around and check his tackles numbers, just overall tackles numbers. Plays both sides. Just there's more to his game than just the edge part, and he sets that edge, and he can slide down and make tackles and take pressure off your linebackers. But he is elite, and he is now going to a football team that he's opportunity to play for a championship, which I don't think he was ever going to have in Cleveland. And pretty good soldier too. He just does his job.
If you're a Bears fan, any fan, and you're sitting here this morning saying the Bears aren't serious, or your team's not serious about winning a Super Bowl because they didn't trade for Myles Garrett, then I can't help you, because that's not the whole point of this. You have to be able to do same thing with the Max Crosby stuff. And I think Myles Garrett is a different level above Max Crosby, but you have to have the bullets in order to go do it. And and it just didn't work out. But yeah, they're a I think it's the Rams and everybody else in the NFC. But we've seen before, last year, the Packers traded for Micah Parsons, and they're going to win a Super Bowl. That's the best team ever, and they didn't make the playoffs. Injuries happen.
Right.
It's a crazy game of football, but obviously they're there to win it. And Matthew Stafford playing at a high level still at this age, but he's got 1, maybe 2 years left. So their window is extremely small. So we'll see what happens with that. The other thing I wanted to bring up with you is we kind of talked about the last segment with the View from the West fellas. High school sports always changing. And I don't know, I think I talked to you about it when it happened, but I'll remind everybody. Do you like the changes to high school football? Do you like the expanded playoffs? Do you like the fact that you can maybe win 2 games and get into the postseason? Or are you old school like me that kind of like the drive for 5? Or it used to be the drive for 6, Johnny, back in the day. It used to be not 5, it used to be 6.
In my day.
Your thoughts on where things are going high school football-wise?
Okay. It's really, it used to be, and you understand this, it used to be that summers were for baseball. You had spring high school, and then you played a competitive summer competition, which is I'll use Rock Island Legion as an example for me growing up, and now coaching it. But baseball went until August, and now it's just school starts too. They're pushing that away. Basketball started pushing it away several years ago, which is ridiculous. Now football, they think that now it's 7-on-7, and once your spring high school baseball season is over, and there's a lot of guys that use the summer to get to that next level, they go straight into football. I'm not a big fan of 2 wins and get in because I spent all those years coaching to try to get to 5, as you pointed out. But to that, though, Maddie, the schools that used to get, and I'm not throwing anyone under the bus here, please. And you all out there know who you are, who used to bring in 3 public league schools before their conference, give them a guarantee, give them a meal, and then if they needed some equipment, you gave that so you could get those 3 wins to hopefully get 2 in your conference. That this has all eliminated all that because now you have an opportunity maybe with 2 wins to get into the playoffs. That was phony all those years. I can remember our game number 3 for many years was Geneseo at Allman, and that was not fun. And then you went into before they became in the conference, and you went into the conference all beat up. So because those guys were physical and tough. Do I like the 2 games? It's going to give some teams an opportunity to play a 10th football game, and I'm okay with that. Are those teams ever going? It's like when Iowa used to allow teams with 2 and 3 wins to get in because of before district play. Okay, so you give a kid a 10th football game. I'm okay with that. The starting of the season is ridiculous, and but they don't care about summer baseball, and because all travel teams are done by the 5th or 6th or 7th or 8th or 9th, 10th of July, and then the only teams that are hurting are your upper the kids still chasing some of the college kids coming back playing Legion, and or the high school kids. So that's the one that's hurt me because I enjoy it, but. Football is king because you know what it's like. We all stood with bated breath to find out what Iowa's TV times were.
Yes.
We all stand. College football is phenomenal. Pro football dominates, and high school football is king on Friday nights. And I think they're just trying to get it to make sure it has a perfect window and get done in time to expand the playoffs.
You look at it, Johnny, and we'll get rolling here, but I think the NFL, college has become pro. Unfortunately, I think high school is becoming college. When it comes to, you're starting to see the transfer portal or whatever it is, and kids saying, hey, I'm transferring this school and that. There's a lot of frustration with that. And also, you're right. I mean, you look at, we did the Don Morris Awards a few weeks ago, and 2 great winners. Kai Weinzierl was so well deserving, and Lily Furrow down in Galesburg, 3-sport stud. But it used to be you had 3-sport athletes all over the place to pick from. Now I don't even think you need to be a 3-sport athlete. I think it's just you got to be a multi-sport athlete to win the Don Morris, and it's becoming, and at a school like maybe our little school on top of the hill, you need a lot of multi-sport athletes, and not just Element. I mean, you look at the smaller schools too. You need those type of kids, and again, and this is probably a different discussion for a different day. It's becoming harder to be those kids because there's always somebody else. If you're playing one sport, you're not doing what other kids that are maybe specializing one sport are doing, and you're falling behind the 8 ball when it comes to those kind of things, which is a frustrating. Last thing. Hey, how about I told you this? On August 28th, you could clinch a playoff spot in Illinois this year.
Well, I know
that's the second week of the season, and if you win 2 games, you're probably going to make the playoffs if you win 2 games. So we can have teams clinching playoff spots on August 28th. That seems weird to me.
In my day, man, we didn't start the season till the Friday after Labor Day.
Yeah,
we didn't go back to school till Labor Day.
But in their defense, back in your day, they also had covered wagons. Like the Pioneers were literally the Pioneers, and they came in
literally. But thank you for calling me 100.
You're welcome.
But yes, that's kind of unique and kind of cool in some places, in some spots. But to go back to it, I can remember arguing with Duncan Reed about don't come get my baseball players during the summer so you can go in and practice basketball. Well, and now it's yes, the 3-sport and schools need this. But my point is, when my son got to college, they knew the college recruiter's first question was, what other sports do you play?
Yes.
They want to know.
Yep.
And they want to know if you could time manage to be a multi-sport athlete in high school. And I think it did him well. And I think you'll find that the other kids in college that he found out they could play other sports, whether it be basketball or football or whatever, basketball or baseball, it plays a role. And if you can be good at a couple things and manage the time, then you are looked upon differently at the next level.
Absolutely. Johnny, always appreciate the time. We'll talk soon. Thanks, buddy.
Love you. Thanks,
all right,
buddy.
that is Johnny Marks joining us here on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. We got one last break. We'll wrap up OTA on a Tuesday right after this.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West, the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
View from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Update with Matt Randazzo here on a Tuesday in the Quad Cities. Tuesday, June 2nd, a fun show here for you on a Tuesday in the middle of the summertime. Plenty, as always, to talk about during the show itself. Some big news from the University of Iowa from women's basketball. Maybe we'll get Kyle on the show tomorrow. I feel like I'm always leaning and relying on Kyle. Someone, a viewer, actually suggested a Kyle Huseman segment. Well, we usually have that anyways. But big news for the Iowa women. They will now host Vandy on November 15th in Sioux City, Iowa. Which is really cool, which also has me thinking, if you're going to play a game in Sioux City, boy, it would be fun to do what they did for Brock and Owen a few years ago and maybe play a game here in the Quad Cities in the future with the Journey Houston coming back to Davenport in the Quad City area. Just a thought. Just throwing it out to the university if it sticks. But so they'll play UConn November 8th, and then they'll play Vandy, who will probably be a top 10 team, in Sioux City a week later. It's also the day that Iowa plays Creighton in Des Moines. So two huge Iowa basketball games in the state, but not in Iowa City. One in Des Moines, one in Sioux City. So we'll talk more about that throughout the week. But they're really, Jan Jansen is really stacking her non-conference schedule, and I like that. I think it's fantastic. If you split those two games, you're thrilled. Even if you lose both and you're competitive, it's not the end of the world. You win both, woo! Just, watch out. But really like that. Very cool for Iowa. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Milan Momcilovic is reportedly going to make $6.5 million next year at Kentucky. That's what the reports are on social media, and social media is never wrong. But if that's the case, if that's true, he'll make more than the 8th pick in this year's draft. That's what it's gotten to, where it's going to get to a point where people are going to wonder, like, is it smart for me to to go to the NBA, or if I can make more money. Well, if you're let's say you're top 15, you're going to be number 15 in the NBA. Why wouldn't you go back to college? And if Bennett Sturts had more availability, he would probably make more in college next year than being the 15th pick in the draft. So, really, that's where college basketball's gotten to. It's made the game better, keeps better players in the game longer. Wait till the 5-for-5 thing comes about and is officially done, and you're going to have more players being able to stay longer. So, which, if you love college basketball, it's not a bad thing in that aspect of it. Still needs to be worked, tweaked, fixed, however you want to say it, but interesting things as we end the show. I want to thank our guests, Brady Anderson from Morrison, 10-time state champion, heading to Northern Iowa to run track, but won 4 state championships this past weekend in Charleston, 100, 200, 4x1, 4x2, and also helped Morrison to another team state championship. Great to catch up with Brady. Hopefully he golfs well. And then great to catch up with Mitch and Greg Armstrong, Mitch Stormer from View from the West. They have a great podcast out already today. Last week they talked to Orion's and Sherrard's new head coach. Today they have Rock Island's new head coach, Anthony Rome, on theirs, so go check that out. View from the West pod on YouTube, View from the West. Good stuff from them. Always exciting to talk high school football. And then when I always want to just talk sports in general, I rely on my guy, John Marks. And so, again, coming up on Wednesday, it's Texas Tech and Texas for a national championship in college softball, and a Quad City product will be on the field in a big-time way. So that's a very cool thing. We'll try to do something with that tomorrow. Made a few phone calls trying to line up something. We'll see what we can get to. So, again, show tomorrow, show coming up on Thursday, no show Friday. And so I got to get to Iowa City. And then I just found out too, and I really mean this, I found out like Sunday night that my wife's going out of town Wednesday through Saturday. So, yeah, Friday is just going to be a crazy day. So we're going to take a day off, and we deserve it. So excited about some things in Iowa City as well. So we have a lot more to get to this week, and then we'll rock and roll throughout the month of June as well. It's June already. That's crazy. So thank you guys so much for watching today's show. We'll be back with a brand new episode of OTA coming up tomorrow.